to a B-29 Superfortress on Saipan Island. It is only the beginning, now in November 1944, as these mighty bombers prepare for the first raid on Tokyo in 2.5 years. Crews at the 21st Bomber Command are briefed for the job, a 1,500-mile flight that will make history. General Emmett E, mission leader, checks final details with General Haywood Hansell, commander of the Saipan Base Superfortress, and with Major Moran, his companion in the lead plane, Dauntless Dotty. All ready? Take off. The B-29s head for Tokyo. The giant bombers, equipped to range over 5,000 miles, now swiftly cover the 1,500 miles from Saipan to their objective, to open the full-fledged air war against Japan. Tokyo, miles below, citadel of the Japanese Empire, a city of 7 million, and a center of aircraft, chemical, textile, and automotive manufacturing. Puffs of flak come up, but enemy fighters are absent. For 2 hours, the mass concentration of B-29s pounds industrial targets. Heading back to Saipan, the first Superfortress mission over Tokyo is a success. Stung by the Tokyo raid, the enemy sends bombers over the B-29 base on Saipan. Fires blaze on this base, built in little more than 3 months by Air Force and Navy engineers in a miracle of military construction. Near the wreckage of a B-29 are the remains of one of 13 Japanese planes shot down in the raid. Despite the raid, B-29s again wing out to action, operating on a regular schedule, steadily stepping up the intensity of the war on Japan. Advancing on Leyte Island in the Philippines, troops of the United States 6th Army meet heavy resistance as they near the key Japanese supply port of Ormond. Snipers extract a price all along the way. United States war photographer Frank Priss, accompanying the troops, was killed by an enemy bullet. Frank Priss is buried near where he fell, with military ceremonies, a tribute to the men who risk and sometimes lose their lives so that the world may see the terror and the heroism of war. At Tacloban, liberated capital of Leyte Island, Philippine civilians received clothing from the United States. In their 2.5-year occupation, the Japanese drained this area of almost all available supplies and left widespread suffering in their wake. new clothing brings new hope to the natives of one of the first towns freed by the return to the Philippines. Throughout the islands, millions more await liberation. The development of an important new Air Force rescue device, the personnel pickup. In initial testing, a heavy sack is lifted by a hook trailing from the plane. A sheep is harnessed for a live test. Contact is made with the low-flying craft. Success in this experiment. A little bewildered, the sheep is nevertheless safe and sound. Such tests continued for months. Now, the first human subject. A thoroughly trained pilot picks him up at 130 miles an hour. The same action in slow motion. A steep climb by the plane at the moment of contact prevents any bumps. Fully developed, this pickup will rescue men from behind enemy lines and in other isolated positions. Necessary ground equipment can be dropped by parachute. The sturdy nylon rope, drawn by electric winch, hoists the man into the plane in 3 minutes. Safe landing, a valuable new rescue technique for stranded airmen. French troops parade in Metz, ancient French fortress city and capital of the Department of the Moselle. After weeks of fighting, liberated Metz returns to the French people. Major General Walker, 20th Corps, represents the American Army and FFI troops who recaptured Metz from the Germans. In official ceremonies, the city is returned to French General Dody, acting for his countrymen. Strasbourg, capital of Alsace. The last German strength in the historic city is surrendered to Provost Marshal MacIntyre of the 7th Army, as Nazi General Vaterrodt gives up the 2 battalions of his command. His officers leave by truck. Two battalions, 5,000 German soldiers out of combat. A second great frontier city is won. Through the town of Montbéliard, the battle for a third important objective, Belfort, and the Belfort gateway into Germany moves forward. The French First Army advances toward the historic city near the Swiss border. Artillery blasts the last fortress, Belfort Castle. German resistance is quieted. Belfort Castle's deep network of underground tunnels, last haven of the Germans, is inspected by General Armand Chaillet and his staff. The tricolor flies over Belfort. Metz, Strasbourg, Belfort. 3 famed French cities are returned to France.